I'm going to tell you how the shit works. You ready?
There we go.
My brother.
Break it down, my brother.
There's a concept that I just learned about. It's called flanderization.
Okay.
And it's basically the concept of, you know, when you have a sitcom, when you have a TV show, like a sitcom is sort of defined by the fact that a sitcom is the same scenario arising over and over and over where, you know, the family is all waking up together and this stuff is meant to be syndicated. So it's a syndicated comedy. So everything has to sort of happen in a bubble. And especially at this time when people were coming up with sitcoms in terms of, you know, Seinfeld or The Simpsons or whatever, it's like it's meant to be very self-contained. Now we're not really okay with that. Now we want our stories to develop over the course of the show, and we've kind of accepted that idea. But if stuff is going to be syndicated, if it always starts and ends the same, then that is beneficial. And so the flanderization is basically, since you take the characters and you have to keep making them do more and more extreme things, basically like the characters start to become kind of not believable because you start with this base of Ned Flanders as this really good Christian man, family man. And every time you throw Ned Flanders in a storyline, you have to do something to Ned Flanders that basically pushes him to the limit of being exposed to some shit that he wouldn't typically be exposed to, because otherwise there's no conflict and the story doesn't even do anything. And so as time goes by and a show reaches its 30th season, all of a sudden it's like you have this character who your initial understanding of the character, the things that they're doing now make no fucking sense. And that's why you get sick of a TV show over time. That's why I can't watch season 8 of The Office, is because over time Dwight becomes this like cartoonish villain that is just like doing things that just don't even really make sense to me given my earlier understanding. And it's fun for a few seasons where you like see a guy going from a sort of normal person to being like evil, like, you know, or an annoying person to being like the most annoying person on earth. That's fun for a while, but eventually it just kind of burns out and it becomes less interesting. Like Pump and Perp, they sort of like exhausted a lot of their beef opportunities, a lot of their slang opportunities, a lot of the things that they went to do that went viral just aren't going to read the same now. Like shooting the gun out the window, which I jokingly said before, is not going to, like, people aren't going to react to Lil Pump doing that in a positive way now. They're going to say like, oh, is he okay? That's super depressing.
Yeah. Or like him, you know, like I'm going to paint my toenails and fingernails.
And so that's the thing, is he's forced to now do things that actually aren't putting him at risk, that aren't introducing him into any actual element of despair. Yeah. But it's still like he's acting like it's going to, you know, like entertain the crowd. But in reality, I think what the crowd wants to see is growth. So I think Smokepurpp, if Smokepurpp really wants to actually take his career in a positive direction, one of the easiest things that he could do would be to start dating a woman that people like see as somewhat aspirational for him. Like if he were to start dating somebody who people respected and, like, you know, was relatively well known and stuff, then I think that they actually, like, you could kind of like rewrite your storyline all of a sudden at that point. Now, there's no saying that that's going to make people interested in your music, but it definitely could make people reimagine you. I heard Joe Budden say that about Wale one time. Wale is one relationship away from being like super relevant again. If Wale was dating a hey, yeah, okay, let's do that. No, Azalea Banks. Wale is dating Azalea Banks. I love it. Oh my God. I don't know, man. She's a little evil, but you know, if Wale is dating Alexa Sky,
I hate that that's the.
Well, you don't know that.
Oh, shut the fuck up! I know she is now. Like I hate that that's the game that we even have to play, my brother. It's like we've been thrown into this syndication by the white man. We have to just dance and you know play by their rules. No, I was kind of joking, but kind of serious.
No, but I feel you for sure, because it's like the relationship thing. How much time does that buy you? It's not like when people go on Love and Hip Hop, their music career gets better. It's like it almost exclusively gets worse besides Cardi B.
I mean, but like, okay, so think about it. It's like, shit. It's kind of the same thing I'm saying. It's like nobody's going to take me serious as a rapper being on a podcast, because that's traditionally something that you do either after you already have accomplished being a rapper, or you just didn't make it at being a rapper, you know?
But the thing is that there's like a time period as a rapper that you're sort of... That as a rapper you want to tap into, and it's like that early period is sort of defined by being sort of mysterious, and people want to find out about you, and people want to, you know, sort of like see you living this deviant lifestyle where you have guns around and you might be doing drugs, and they want to sort of get an understanding of you. What Cardi has done is Cardi has trapped himself in a perpetual state of that, because he's never let the audience really get to know him. They still don't really know what they're dealing with, and that's something that Yachty gave up right away. He just did a bunch of interviews, boom. They understand you, it's over. Cardi never really gave him that.
You think it's over for Yachty though now?
No, I don't mean like his career is over, but I mean like his mystery is gone. So at that point, it's like for Yachty now to go and do a song with Tato, it's like, well, why not? Because he doesn't really have that mystique that he's holding on to at that point. For Cardi to go do a song with some random rapper, it's a huge compromise of his image because he's built up this whole thing on being extremely rare. And we're having the conversation about being rare. Cardi is like probably the rarest young rapper, and Uzi does a pretty good job with it too. But Uzi's a little bit more out there.
Yeah, and he's like
he does features.
He's back at
here and there.
Yeah.
Well, like fucking, like he was doing random fear. Like he was doing like he did like that song with like Shabazz.
But Shabazz,
he did that song was fucking fire.
Shabazz is supposed to do the interview soon. Actually, that's a good point. But the thing about that is that Uzi goes and gives a fucking verse.
He gives his shooters verses.
Doesn't seem like he really has much of a financial incentive. It's just that's Uzi saying like, yo, this artist is fire. This artist is underground. Boom, let's give him a huge look. And that way, every time they talk about Shabazz for the rest of his career, boom, they gotta reference Uzi. You can't really even interview him without bringing that up. And that, in a lot of ways, is a really, really good cosign. And Drake has done that a bunch of times, but Drake usually makes it his record that he throws Fabio Foreign on, that he throws Sosa Geek on the new project, which by the way, that song's hard.
That song was hard.
And I will acknowledge that Drake is my least favorite part about that song. I think
Viral.
Viral movie.
I'm in this bitch with the wooskies.
I'm in this bitch with the wooski. I was saying I was making eggs this morning.
Why do you think it is that when because Yachty does, kind of the same thing where he'll find an artist that he thinks is dope and we'll do a song with them. Like he did a song
when I set up the Babytron feature.
Almighty Suspect, Babytron.
Ooh,
he did
that Almighty Suspect
Cuban
remix.
Doll, Bad Baby. But it's like, why do we not look at it in the same light?
Well, because I think that Yachty is really smart, and Yachty realizes that he's like an underground rapper who basically like elevated up out of that situation super quick and started doing Target ads. And so he realizes that it's very much like it's beneficial for him if Yachty goes and does a song with fucking Tato. It's like that gives Yachty a chance to like show all of Tato's fans that he's cool, that he'll work with a smaller artist, and to show his fans that he appreciates what Tato's doing. And that I think Yachty is a real rap fan.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
for
actually
sure.
really apprecites Sada Baby, so he wants to go do a fire song with him. He appreciates
Sada Baby's on fire too right now too, so that was definitely the one thing that's interesting is like I like watched the vlog of them like shooting the video with Tato and all that shit, and they were legit just hanging out at Chief Keef's crib listening to beats, and like they probably made hella songs that night. So it's like, if anyone who's been in a fucking rap setting and it's like, yeah, you might get a random feature like that,
and I think Yachty at a certain point was offended that people were thinking of him as like a little kid rapper or like a corny, whatever, fucking nerd rapper.
I think that's why he like deferred away from the auto-tune shit for like a long time and really started like rapping because he was definitely trying to shake that image. Yeah,
Yachty, if he wanted to, if you really think about it, like what Yachty did with his career is he very much took a step away from like what made him popular in the first place. I in favor of just rapping because that's just what he really fucked with. And so I think that in a lot of ways, like Yachty, people will say like, oh, Yachty isn't as relevant right now or whatever. I mean, a lot of that was self-imposed because that was just the music that he wanted to be making. Like at the end of the day, it's like, you can make videos about whatever you want to make videos about, or you can make videos about what you think is going to get views. You can rap like you're trying to get views, or you can rap like you're trying to just rap with Tato because you fuck with Tato and you think it's dope to do a song with him and Keef. I respect it.
No, I mean, I feel the same way about like Earl Sweatshirt. I watched a whole video about, I think Hip Hop Madness, about how Earl Sweatshirt purposely sabotaged his own career and shit like that. And that was like a clickbait title, but he basically did the exact same thing. He fucking removed himself from like the rat race and like trying to like, be on Billboard and all that shit, and just kind of made the music he wanted to make. And I respect it, man. And
actually, but we're saying we respect it. I mean, look at Pump. Pump has always been rapping. He never had like a singy thing. But like if you look at like Pump's most recent album and stuff,
Which was Harvard Dropout?
Yeah, Harvard Dropout and stuff. It's like
I can't name you one song from that album.
Well,
I don't know that bitch, but I know her stripper name. That one was fire.
Right. Well, I mean, but Pump, like, it was clear, like that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a regular rapper. He wanted to just go in and like basically rap like Migos and like go do a song with Offset and go do a song with fucking.
Or you think that's what he wanted to do, or they were like trying to cultivate another?
I think that's what he wanted to do. I think if the label had more say, or if his management team had more say, that they would probably be putting Pump with songwriters or trying to get Pump to make like, you know, Gucci Gang. Nobody wrote that shit for him. That's just a random ass song that just happened to hit.
Your grandma still live in a tent.
But I mean, you know, if Pump really wants to make like like if Pump wants to do numbers on his next project, he should get in the fucking booth with writers. And like, yeah, you can do your verses like you want to do your verses, but you should get the chords and shit written by other people, because realistically, it's like you're just not meant to do all the heavy lifting yourself. And I don't think that he should be ashamed of that. I mean, even Yachty, it's like Yachty's on the most commercial sounding Yachty song. He's still probably going to do a verse that sounds like him just rapping. You know?
Yeah, like what? Like Oprah's bank account? Like that was a very.
That felt like a concerted. You know, Lizzo was supposed to be the feature on that instead of the baby.
I did see that. I mean, do you think that would have been more well received?
I think it would have been a bigger look, because the Lizzo fan base would have had to fuck with it, whereas like the Yachty and Drake fan base is like already encompasses the Baby fan base.
Yeah.
Damn,
so the Baby was good on it, but Lizzo is like another world that would have then had to pay attention to it.
And
you know?
Lizzo's fans like ride and die for her, so they would have hopped on that song.
Dude,
crazy.
I don't know how Lizzo's music is doing right now. Is she still killing it every time she puts shit out?
I'm pretty sure she's probably
she even
still
put
killing
anything
it.
out in a while. I should pay closer attention to Lizzo. Hey, this has been another episode of the No Jumper Show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you want to support, like, comment, subscribe, and go to nojumper.com. Get yourself a kendama or a t-shirt or something. Appreciate y'all.